It's probably pretty obvious to folks that I am obviously against Bill 21. It is something that hurts me, makes me feel sad. I think about all the times I grew up being told that I couldn't do things because of the way I looked. And I think about all the people in Canada that grow up being told they can't achieve more because of their identity or who they are. And I think about the people in Quebec right now that are being told just because they wear a hijab that they can't be a teacher, or if they wear a yarmulke, they can't be a judge. And that's hurtful and it's wrong. And it probably comes as no surprise that I'm opposed to laws that divide people. And what I do every single day when I go to Quebec is I say, hey, I'm here. I'm someone that believes in fighting the climate crisis. I'm someone that believes in firmly and unequivocally the rights of women, the right of women to choose and to build more access to abortion services. I believe firmly in making sure we tackle the powerful corporations that are influencing government and that are not allowing, that are challenging our ability to ensure that we build services that lift up people. I'm doing that every single day.
With 70% of the population of Quebec supporting the Bill 21 and 70% of the members of Parliament in Quebec supporting Bill 21, it's hardly a polarization issue in Quebec. That's the problem. The problem is that, and in English tonight, it will be quite clear, everybody here has problems with the very idea of, I will say laïcité because there's no exact translation for that word in English. Everybody has a problem with it, but say in best of cases that they would tolerate it. But Quebec does not need to be told what to do or what not to do about its own values, nor its language, nor themselves as a nation.
This is a bill that just says to people, because of the way they look, that they can't do a job.
You know this is not true.
And instead
Madam,
of that,
you know this is not true, and your tweet that said that I said
instead of that, Mr. Blanchet, what we should be doing
was wrong.
Mr. Blanchet, instead of what we should be doing is let's protect women's rights. Let's build up more protections for a woman's right to choose.
What does means in the context I used it?
Let's build up more protections for the LGBTQ community. Let's build up more protections in society to build a society where there is a separation of church and state.
Mr. Blanchet, you have spoken very eloquently about discrimination and fought against it all your life. And that's why it's so surprising to have heard you say, like every other leader on the stage, that a federal government under you would not intervene in the question of Bill 21 in Quebec. It's a question where, yes, it's awkward politically because, as Mr. Blanchet says, it is very popular. But I am the only one on the stage who has said, yes, a federal government might have to intervene on this because the federal government needs to protect minority rights, needs to protect language rights, needs to protect women's rights, and needs to do that right across the country. You didn't say that you would possibly intervene. You didn't even leave the door open, and that's not leadership.
Let's be honest for a second here. Every single day of my life is fighting a bill like Bill 21.
So why won't you fight it if you form government?
Every single day of my life is challenging people who think that you can't do things because of the way you look. Every single day of my life, I channel the frustrations of people who feel that as well, that many people across our country who are told that they can't achieve what they want because of how they look.
So why not
I'm running to become Prime Minister of this country. I'm going to Quebec and telling people, I want to be your Prime Minister.
I believe it's very important for people to understand that while we will not intervene in this court case as a Conservative government, we do recognize, and the Conservative Party always stands for freedom and equality and individual liberty, and we will make sure that this does, we will not pursue this type of bill at the federal level.
I want to just touch on one of the themes of this discussion is polarization. And while Bill 21 is going to single out people because of the way they look, another thing that's happening in our country right now is that people are being pit against each other. And what's happening is people who can't find a home, can't afford their bills, can't get the medication or health care they need, are being told that it's not the fault of powerful corporations and those who are not paying their fair share, but it's a fault of new Canadians. It's a fault of a 12-year-old refugee or an immigrant who's breaking his back working 12 hours a day. And that's why it's so important for us to tackle economic insecurity if we want to tackle the polarization.